how do we judge the integrity of an expert? When a public figure faces criticism for the systems they support, they often point to their personal record of service as a defense. Professor Paul Moon is a long-standing academic with decades of institutional support. Currently, he is facing scrutiny for lending his credentials to platforms that advocate against Treaty of Waitangi principles. In response to these criticisms, Moon sent 2 LinkedIn messages, 90 minutes apart, outlining specific credentials as a rebuttal. He highlights unpaid Waitangi tribunal work, chairing a scholarship foundation for Maori students, and years writing books alongside a Tūhoe tonga. While this list suggests a career dedicated to Maori interests, comparing these claims against the historical record reveals a series of discrepancies that invite a closer look. We can start with the claims of pro bono work and the scholarship foundation. Moon does not provide a claimant name, a claim number, or a dollar figure. Without these specifics, the claims are difficult to verify. But even if we assume the claims are accurate, the defense relies on a logical gap, the Tuesday versus Thursday fallacy. Imagine a doctor who volunteers at a free clinic on a Tuesday, then spends their Thursday sitting on the board of a company that knowingly pollutes a town's water supply. A charitable act on one day does not neutralize the impact of professional choices made on another. Perhaps the most significant claim in Moon's defense is that in 2002, he was the first academic to publish a work proving that Maori never ceded sovereignty. The historical record shows a different timeline. In 1987, Claudia Orange published The Treaty of Waitangi, addressing sovereignty. In 1990, Ranginui Walker examined it from a Maori perspective. And throughout the 1980s, Moana Jackson argued in courts that Maori never ceded sovereignty. Claiming to be first while defending against a charge of bias results in the omission of the very Maori scholars who established the field. Moon also points to the years he spent recording sacred knowledge with the Tūhoe tonga, Hohepe Kereopa. The history of Tūhoe includes surviving the Crown's military campaigns, scorched earth policies, and starvation. Yet in 2019, Moon co-authored a paper claiming that Māori who cite colonization as a cause of intergenerational trauma are suffering from a psychological delusion he called prosthetic suffering. This reveals the disconnect between using a community as a scholarly subject and dismissing their lived experience in a separate journal. Evaluating this record isn't about calling individual books or charitable acts white supremacy. The focus is the pattern of choosing to align with platforms designed to challenge the Treaty of Waitangi. This network includes the NZPCR, the Atlas Network-funded Free Speech Union, and History Reclaimed, a UK-based network that seeks to rehabilitate the image of the British Empire. It also includes affiliations with the ACT Party, the primary architect of the Treaty Principles Bill. French platforms seek out a professor with 33 years of institutional experience because that weight provides a sense of legitimacy to their claims. The conversation shifts from a list of personal credentials to the weight and academic lens to the platforms they choose to support. When we look past the curated resume, the choices themselves tell the story.